I used to think that plant-based eating was a whole other world, but the more I focused on simple meals, the more I realized it doesn't have to be complicated. Nothing fancy, just good food that works for our family.
Before we get started, we wash our hands with the very best using Eden Body Care products. Eden Body Care is a Nevada-based skincare company owned by yours truly, our family. We specialize in handmade soaps and body butters tailored to condition the driest skin even in the desert of Nevada. Find out more on our website, EdenBodyCare.com. All right, let's get back to the video.
Let's start off by doing some prepping. I always try to include a variety of colors when I'm cooking. It's not just for looks. I mean, different colors do make things a lot prettier, but it's also for different ingredients. Now I've started a pot of quinoa here. I have just added some salt, some seasonings like onion powder and paprika, and we're gonna cook that in the background. Different colors mean different nutrients, and it keeps the flavors interesting in all the dishes that we're making. This mix gives the dish a little bit of everything, some crunch, sweetness, and that fresh, vibrant taste that makes plant-based meals feel satisfying. If you're new to plant-based eating or just thinking about getting started, don't let it intimidate you. I used to think it meant complicated recipes and expensive ingredients, but it's really just about keeping things very simple. Start with what you already like, rice, pasta, beans, veggies, and build from there. You start cooking one meal at a time, one small change at a time, and it really does add up. I'm prepping this roasting tray with some vegetables for our quinoa. So we're just gonna roast our vegetables all together. I've got some chopped up broccoli. You can do cauliflower. I'm also gonna add some red cabbage just for some color. We're gonna add some onions in here and some bell pepper as well. Now, roasting vegetables is probably one of the easiest ways to prep your vegetables. Really, I just toss them with some oil, salt, really any seasonings that you feel like. Maybe some onion powder, some garlic powder, paprika. These are my usual suspects. I also like to add Italian seasoning, thyme. You could do really anything that you like. You can roast pretty much anything. Broccoli, sweet potatoes, carrots, cauliflower. You really can't go wrong. I like to roast a big batch and use them throughout many of our dishes or meals. It's just a really quick side or just something to go into some starch. Of course, it doesn't stop with starches. You can serve roasted vegetables with anything else you like. Some tofu if you like, some lentils. Any type of plant-based protein is good as well. I have the oven in the background preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit on convection. I like to use a convection setting because it really aerates and rotates the air a lot in there, a lot more, and it just cooks a lot faster as well. So I love to use my convection. If you don't have it, you may just have to cook your vegetables a little bit longer. I'm gonna put our seasonings on the vegetables, and I will cook the vegetables for about 20-25 minutes or so, just depending on how crispy and roasty you like your vegetables. While the veggies roast, I usually get everything else ready. That's another thing I've learned. So multitasking makes plant-based cooking way easier because if something's in the oven, I'm usually cooking grains or prepping tofu or making a dressing on the side, or really just dealing with the kids and they're homeschooling or working. It's always a good thing to have something in the oven. It's all about keeping things moving so dinner, lunch, or breakfast comes together without feeling it's like a huge effort. While the veggies are roasting, I start on the salad. This is my personal favorite. I've been eating this literally every day, and if you guys want me to do a specific video on just what I'm eating to lose my last few pounds that I am trying to lose, let me know in the comments. I would love to share with you this one salad that I've been eating and loving, and I can literally eat it every single day. It's nothing fancy. I am just going to chop up some really nice crisp romaine lettuce. I'm also going to chop up a little bit of tomato. I just have one tomato. I'm also going to add some purple cabbage just for some added color and crunch in here as well. Now, the thing about salads is they don't have to be complicated. Just a mix of like fresh ingredients, whatever that you could find, whatever that is on sale, whatever that you think is good in a salad. And if you're new to plant-based eating, salads like this can really be an easy way to get more veggies in without overthinking it. I'm gonna be honest here. I used to hate salads. It's just not one of those things. They always felt like rabbit food, just like lettuce and a few sad tomatoes and just some dressing. Ugh, I just never liked salads. But once I started making salads like this, everything changed. So it's all about texture and flavor for me. And I realized that adding a good protein like a tofu really makes all the difference. I really like a very sort of meaty salad, and once I started making this, I just love it. It doesn't feel like I'm eating an actual salad because of the tofu, because of that meatiness of that tofu. I am just cubing the tofu right in its package. I have a cast iron skillet in the background. I'm going to heat up a little bit of avocado oil. This is just any neutral oil that you have. I'm gonna add some sliced onions in here, and then I'm just gonna pop in that block of tofu. I didn't even, press it. You can definitely press it overnight to get all of that moisture out as much as you can, but it's not important to me. Sometimes I just forget, so this is how I like to do it, and it works perfectly fine. One of the biggest questions I get about plant-based eating is, where do you get your protein? Honestly, it's easier than most people think. Tofu, quinoa, lentils, chickpeas, they all are packed with protein, and when you mix them with plenty of veggies and fats, you really get a balanced meal without even trying. One thing about tofu is you have to really season it. I like to season it with some sort of liquid seasoning. You can put all of your seasonings in like a mixing bowl, add a little bit of coconut aminos, you can add soy sauce, you can add a little bit of water, maybe some coconut milk, and make it sort of a liquid form. That way the tofu will really absorb all those delicious flavors. In here today I did add some soy sauce, I did add a little bit of onion powder, paprika, and of course a little bit of salt. My goal here is to not toss it too much, just so it can create that delicious crisp sort of charred surface on the tofu, and that creates a really delicious texture to our salad. If tofu is not your thing, you can definitely try like roasted chickpeas, maybe some edamame, or even quinoa. But I do highly suggest you try this way of cooking tofu, or put it in the oven and crisp it as long as possible, because it really is delicious. Just try it. Let's talk about the real star of the salad, which is the dressing. I'm making a super simple tahini dressing with just tahini, some lime juice, a little salt, and coconut aminos. That's it. But somehow this combo makes the salad just like from being okay to like I really, really want and love eating this salad. The tahini makes it creamy, the lime adds brightness and that tartness, and the coconut aminos gives it a little sweetness but also a little bit of savoriness that ties everything together. It's honestly what makes me really want to eat the salad. I'm not kidding you. This is one of the best dressings ever. Without it, I probably wouldn't be making salads as often as I do now. So try this. It's so easy to make. For a little bit of spice, I did add a little bit of cayenne pepper. You can leave this out. You can add just maybe some pepper, some black cracked pepper would be really nice in this as well. I'm gonna say I use about 2 tablespoons of tahini, a whole juice of a lime, maybe 1 teaspoon or 2 of coconut aminos, about a teaspoon of salt. No, maybe like a sprinkle of salt. Really just taste as you go. The salt was just really to bring out the flavors a little bit more. And if you don't have tahini, or if you don't like tahini, you can definitely use some peanut butter. Of course, when you're using peanut butter, it will have a little bit of that peanut butter taste. When I tasted this, forget about it. This salad is gonna be so bomb. Once the dressing is ready, it's time to bring everything together. As you can see, Everything is so simple. When you cook like this, it really gives you a ton of options. You can switch up the veggies depending on the season or what you like, or even what you have. You could swap the tofu for chickpeas, lentils, or even tempeh. Use quinoa, rice, pasta, whatever grain that you like as well. It's less about following a strict recipe and more about working with what you've got and really just learning how to build flavor and making things that are really enjoyable for you and your family. Plant-based cooking is very sustainable for me because it's very flexible. If I'm out of something, I don't stress. I just mix and match, and it still turns into a really satisfying meal, and it's all about keeping it simple and enjoyable. All I'm doing is adding all of those roasted vegetables into my pot of quinoa, my seasoned pot of quinoa. You want to also make sure when you're cooking your quinoa, make sure that you season it very well as well. You're trying to give it as much flavor as possible in every stage of the cooking process. Now, once you get the hang of it, of cooking plant-based, you start to realize how many meals you can make from just a few staples. Cooking like this also means that I can throw meals together really quickly. So if you have a large, busy family like ourselves, meals like this can really make life easier. You're not cooking separate dishes for everyone or just stressing out about what's for dinner. If you also focus on whole foods, whole grains, whole vegetables, whole legumes, you're not going to be stressed out about, if you're feeding your family healthy or not. Everything that you're going to be cooking is very healthy, and just stick with the whole foods as much as possible. Just giving this a quick taste to make sure the salt levels and the flavors are on point, and that is good. I'm gonna serve a bowl for my husband, Trey. This is gonna be for his lunch and possibly for dinner later on as well, if we do have leftovers. I think a squeeze of lime on this would be so delicious as well. Oh, and then also adding avocado to this would be delicious as well. You can even add this on a bed of salad if you just want to make this more of a greens, or just eat more salad in general. You can, of course, pair this with a side salad. Time to put together my favorite salad ever. So I like to kind of mix the salad really well with the dressing. So it just makes things a lot easier later on. I'm gonna put a little bit of the dressing, and then I'm gonna mix it, and then I'm gonna put some more dressing and then mix it, because I want it to be distributed all on my vegetables. Then I'm gonna add my tofu. Generally speaking, this tofu is very filling. I like to eat this maybe like throughout the afternoon. Sometimes I will devour the whole thing if I'm really super starving, but a lot of the times I would just eat, half of it for lunch and then half of it for sort of like an early dinner. Same with the salad. I'm going to toss some of that dressing on the tofu as well to make sure that that's dressed, and then I will mix it and add some more dressing later on top. This just makes sure everything is distributed, everything is coated in the delicious sauce, and yeah, it just works very well this way. Our amazing salad is finally done, ready for my belly. And the quinoa is done as well, ready for Trey's belly. It is lunchtime. I'm going to stuff my face. That's it. Simple ingredients, easy prep, and a meal that actually leaves you feeling satisfied. It's really nothing fancy, just real whole foods that work for our busy family. If you ever thought plant-based eating was too complicated, I hope this shows how easy it can be. You don't need to be perfect or plan special ingredients. It's just grains, veggies, a good protein, and something to tie it all together. Honestly, meals like this are why I stuck with it. It's affordable, it's flexible, and it just works. So if you're thinking about eating more plant-based, start simple, and trust me, it's easier than it seems. Thank you all for watching this video. Hope you subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.